Dalvin, thanks for coming to see us, man.
Thank you for having me on today.
On a rather warm day, but as you reminded us and reminded me, you're a Georgia guy. I can remember I covered Herschel Walker's freshman year for the Atlanta Journal-Constitution. So this goes back to 1980. And I was a Gary, Indiana kid. So it got hot in the summer. But that was my first summer in Georgia, going to those practices before that season. I think that's the hottest I've ever felt, man. That humidity, it would just curl your nose hairs. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, being from Georgia and going to Alabama, all I know is humidity at this point. Yeah. So today, with the breeze out here, it felt amazing for me.
Refreshing for you.
Most definitely.
It's a beautiful. That's a great advantage for you to have. Well, again, we appreciate the time. Everybody, I guess it's natural when you make a coaching change is asking, okay, what's different? What looks different? What feels different? In terms of the way, to this point at least, practice has been conducted, what stands out to you that is different than what Mike Zimmer preferred when it came to the first week of training camp?
Coach Zimmer and Coach KO are two different type of coaches, different coaching styles and everything. But with Zimmer it was great as well. But with KO, it's just so far it's just been it's been amazing. The guys come in every day ready to work, excited. The energy Coach KO brings to every meeting in the morning with the team meetings and things like that, super exciting. And we just have a lot of young guys, a lot of old guys, everybody coming together as a unit, just excited to get better and make each other better around them too. So every day is super productive for everybody, younger guys and older guys. Do
you buy the notion, we're talking with Pete Bursich about this, that sometimes human nature being what it is, it's helpful to hear a different voice. Sometimes people just get tired of the same voice. Doesn't mean there's anything wrong with the voice, but that can get a little old. And so when you hear somebody different, maybe deliver stuff in a different way, that can be helpful. Do you buy that?
Yeah, I feel like it goes both ways. As long as you bought into the process, no matter who's talking, as long as you're listening, that's the biggest key.
In terms of the defense itself, when you look back on last season, how would you evaluate your performance and really the team's performance? Because I know defensively it did not go the way we're accustomed to with Mike Zimmer defenses, and I'm sure it didn't go the way collectively that you expected it to. How do you look back and evaluate what took place?
We had a lot of injuries last year across the board, especially on defense and things like up front. And we want to build off of that. We want to make sure everybody's healthy. We want to make sure everybody goes out and everybody knows the game plan. Everybody knows their techniques as well as the guys' technique around them. So it makes you play that much faster. And personally, I know I want to build on just being more effective in the pass rush this year. With Zadarius and Daniil, just us running natural games, just getting the chemistry as we just naturally run things. And I feel like we're on a good pace right now with that in practice. You see a couple of times I might just hit up field and they just wrap around me and we switch contain reps, assignments and things like that, and it works great. So as we continue to go and just continue to build that chemistry, I feel like the sky's the limit for our defense.
The base defense, no big secret, is now a 3-4, which is different than what you came to last season. I don't know. I was talking again to Bursich about this. Maybe we get too hung up on 3-4 versus 4-3. How much does it change your role in terms of what is expected of you? Is that a big challenge, small challenge, or are you accustomed to it?
I feel like it's super similar compared to the 4-3 we ran last year. It was played almost like a 3-4, and it's super similar from I was playing a 4-out last year. I'm playing an exact 4-out this year, and we also got a 4-man front because almost like a multiple defense depending on who we're playing. And I feel like the assignment across the board is up front where you're stopping the run. We're gonna play my gap, and then if I need to, I can play my gap plus and things like that. And we're gonna be stout up front. And it's just the assignments are pretty straightforward because this defense reminds me a lot of Alabama when I was there. I played pretty much the same position I'm playing now, and it just feels like all of it's starting to come back to me.
That's good. That's got to be helpful. Did I read somewhere that you suffered a big time, I thought it was a knee injury in high school playing soccer?
Yeah.
Is that true?
Yeah, I was playing striker at the moment, yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah.
So how much, we always just assume football guy who ends up in Alabama, did you play soccer a lot, or what's the backstory to that?
I was just pretty much playing that year mostly, but I joked around playing soccer before, just playing pickup and stuff like that, but mostly I was wrestling, baseball and stuff like that, track.
So a little of everything.
Yeah, a little
and
bit
what
of
happened? We associate. Was it an ACL?
It was ACL.
That's what I thought. Usually, we associate that with football, I guess, more than soccer. What happened? Do you remember?
If I remember
just
correctly,
planted wrong?
I went up for a header, and got undercut when I was coming down.
Ooh,
yeah.
Man, that doesn't sound good.
Yeah.
Did that have any impact in terms of you being, getting your football career going?
I had to work that summer going into Alabama,
right.
working off of it, coming into ACL. I learned a lot of adversity up front. And, I feel like Alabama did a great job getting me back from the ACL. And, I just kept going from there.
What did you learn? What do you think are the most important lessons you learned? I mean, we associate Alabama, obviously, with football greatness, excellence. The record speaks for itself.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think? What did you take away from that experience that you think has carried over to your pro career?
The biggest thing from Coach Saban, I would say, trust the process. The game isn't won the day you step on the field. The game was won back in OTAs or in the conditioning or when you was weight training, depending on those extra drills back in the summer and then in the spring. So you have to with that mindset, you have to go each and every day. You can't even just be like, I'm just gonna slouch out today and just slack off today, because those are when the games are won. Because you'll be able to push that much further and go that much harder mentally by the time the season gets here.
Preparation.
Yeah, because the game, that's the fun part.
That's exactly. Dalvin Tomlinson is our guest, Vikings defensive lineman. Another thing I read that interested me was your devotion to your late mom now, because it sounds as if, based on the biography I could put together, so your dad passed away when you were pretty young, like 5 years old. Is that true?
Yes.
Okay, so is this a situation where basically your mom then had to raise you?
Yeah, my mom and my Aunt Mary. Pretty much I had a lot of uncles and aunts, and we all stayed together, so big family guy. And
what, I mean, there's so many times that you've talked about her and how she's always, your mom, Melinda, is that her first name?
Yes.
Is that voice is still speaking to you. She's been gone now for a little while, but that voice still speaks to you. Why is that such a powerful voice, and how important has that been for you?
It's everything for me, because she was my best friend as well as my mom, and she always pushed me to do more stuff, and she was my motivation. She's my why I play football today. Just how happy it made her that when I was going out there to make plays and things like that is just my why, and it's why I want to get up and push that much harder to make her proud, even though she's not with us today.
Is she a tough critic? Was she capable of, if she didn't think you were playing right, could she get in your face, or what was her approach?
Oh, yeah, she'll probably get in your face more than the football coaches were, yeah, and not just me, my teammates as well. So she was pretty much like a coach off the field.
Which is part of the prepreparation then for you, because it puts you in the right mindset. If she's saying, she's challenging you to do more, correct?
Always, yes.
It's tremendous. How long ago did she pass?
2011.
Still tough every day when you think about it?
Every day. Anytime you think about it, it's not something you could just get over, because that's your mom.
It's impressive. It's impressive, your devotion to her. I noticed that in several stories. All right, one last thing relating to this upcoming season. This team has missed the playoffs the last two. Now, you weren't here for both of those. People are kind of used to at least making the playoffs here. That's been part of the deal. So whenever you put a new staff in with changes, do a new approach, the obvious question is, well, can you put it together immediately? Can it be put together in your mind immediately enough to where this team can be a playoff team in 2022? What do you think?
Yeah, the playoffs is always the goal for us. We strive that every single year. We put our helmets on, and I feel like we take it day by day and just continue to grow at the rate we're growing and build the chemistry the way we want to. I feel like the playoffs I feel like that's one of the things we want to accomplish this year, and I think we're very capable of doing that.
Daniil, what have you seen, by the way? What are your observations? Everybody is curious about Daniil, who's not been, fans who have not had a chance to see him or be to practice. And I know you're not, you've only had, padded drills once, and it's still kind of low-key. But in terms of the way he's moving, in terms of what you're seeing from him, are we going to see the Daniil that a lot of people associate with a guy who had a chance to be just a great player and who had been a great player?
Every time I see Daniil pit pads on and see him go out there and do pass rushes, that's Daniil Hunter. That's all you can say. He's still a freak athlete and comes out here, and the way he works on his craft every time he steps on the field, with or without pads, it's amazing. It's something you don't see on a day-to-day basis around the world, I would say, because he focuses on his craft and his technique so much. He makes me want to step my stuff up a little bit.
That's okay. Nothing wrong with that. Thanks for coming to see us, man. I appreciate it.
No problem.
Thanks so much for the time. Dalvin Tomlinson giving us some time today. Vikings defensive lineman.